What's up, Stemheads? Today, we're going to be interviewing Glenn Mills, one of the directors of ABC News, and talk about how they broadcast and film the news. Let's do this. Hey, Alana.
Hi, Liam. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about what you do here?
I hope that you will. Yeah, hit me. What can I help you with?
All right, so first off, how is your STEM involved in broadcasting stuff?
Okay, so as the chief meteorologist, I actually use science, technology, and mathematics. So I hit a couple of those STEM categories when it comes to putting together my forecast and sharing it with Utahns. So I really enjoy that. The science part of my forecast comes from all the study of the atmosphere. I analyze the atmosphere to put together what the weather forecast comes across as on TV. The technology part of it is building my weather graphics, which is what you see behind me when I'm doing a forecast. All those maps, all those numbers, I build those. So it's kind of like a graphic design, and I get to use technology to make that happen. And mathematics, well, that goes hand in hand with my science, and that's where my forecast comes from. We're talking about highs and lows and air masses. So all of that gets put together, and I feel like I'm a big old STEM sandwich.
That's awesome. I didn't know that much STEM went into just the weather.
Yeah, there's a lot of it, which makes it really fun.
How do you get all the weather filming stuff? How do you broadcast it onto people's phones and TVs?
Okay, so that technology part of my job actually includes reaching people not just on our television screens, but also on social media platforms. Any place where I can get warnings out. Warnings are the most important thing when it comes to the weather world, because our weather warnings and advisories impact your plans. So if you want to head out with your friends, you need to know what's going to happen. So I try my best to take our weather graphics and our forecast and get it on various different platforms. If that means sharing graphics on social media, doing a podcast, getting online, those are different areas that are different than the actual television broadcast where I can reach other viewers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What happens when you mess up during a live interview or broadcast?
Okay, it happens all the time. I feel like messing up is a part of life, and we just keep going. I feel like there's no such thing as a mess up. A lot of times we're just trying to convey information, so maybe sometimes I talk too much and give too much information, but a mess up, you just keep going.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen to us. Whatever, let's just keep going. How does this green screen even work? I've always wondered that.
It's a great question, because you can see behind us it's all green, but if you look at the monitors to the side, you actually see our base map for the state of Utah. So it's called chroma key, and what happens is you take visual effects and you lay them over the solid color behind me, but we take that digital chroma and we put the graphics up behind us. So it happens in movies as well as in the weather forecast, where you can go in digitally and replace this solid color with the image you'd like to see.
That's cool. I didn't know how that even worked. What kind of education would you need to be part of the news broadcasting?
So when it comes to meteorology, you have to be good at two different things. You have to deal with people and you have to communicate, so that's something that people can study when it comes to communications. But the science side of it, there are a couple different careers that you can take. You can focus on meteorology. I focused on atmospheric sciences, but any of the science degrees that you can get can later be applied to meteorology, because I deal with geography a lot and geology. If you think about weather, you're dealing with a whole bunch of topics in one 3-minute broadcast. So you get to take all branches of science. So whatever you like to study can later be applied to a meteorology career.
That's awesome. All right, thank you.
So nice to meet you.
You too. Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Liam. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions about the news?
I would love it. Let's do it.
All right, so first off, how long has this station been running for?
That's an awesome question, and it's a perfect time to ask that question, because you see that right there, 75 years? That's what we're celebrating this year. We hit the 75-year mark back in April. So we've been serving this Utah community for 75 years, longer than any other station in the state. And when we first went on 75 years ago, we were one of just a few stations all across the country. So a lot of history right here in this building.
I feel like I should be celebrating. Ooh, go ABC News.
Go ABC4.
That is way older than me.
That could put you and me together, and we're still not even going to reach that.
That's crazy. What have been the biggest changes in equipment over the last 75 years?
Wow, tons and tons of changes, and it all centers around technology. You know, technology gets better and we get better products, and so everything changes. In the early days, they didn't have scripts, they didn't have a teleprompter, they didn't have graphics. They basically wrote out their graphics on a poster board and would present the news like that. that. So things have just changed immensely as technology has improved. Cameras were huge and they're a lot smaller these days. We're able to get our scripts right from an electronic device now, but also the way we've delivered the news because of technology has changed a lot over the years as well.
That's crazy. I didn't know that much stuff changed.
Yeah, it's completely different. Everything around it has completely changed.
Yeah. I heard from your website, check them out. I've heard like KTVX. What do those even stand for?
That is an awesome question. So those are our call letters. When call letters were first assigned, like decades ago, they were broken up into two parts of the country. So if you go to the East Coast, the Midwest to the East Coast, you'll notice that call letters start with a W. And for the West Coast, they assigned K. You would think maybe you would go W for the West, right? But they didn't do that because it made too much sense, I guess. Now you come down to the letters that follow that first one. So KTVX, TV for television, and then the X, I don't know that that necessarily has a meaning, but I've kind of come up with my own one, and I would say that's X marks the spot. KTV marks the spot right here.
That's cool. I mean, at first I thought it was some alien code type stuff.
Well, we have some of that, I just can't talk about it right now.
All right. All right, guys, now the tables have turned. Instead of me interviewing Glenn, he's gonna interview me. This is gonna be fun.
You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
Welcome back. Summer break officially is here for most young students all across the state of Utah. And one local 12-year-old is busy with his YouTube channel geared towards kids just like him. Liam Brown joining us now live in studio. He's the host of the online show Stemheads. Perhaps you've seen it, where he explores jobs that provide opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEM. Liam, great to have you on the show. You've actually been here for a few hours checking out behind the scenes here at ABC4. You are featuring us in one of your upcoming episodes. What have you thought so far as you've looked around the studio and talked to all my coworkers here?
I think it's really awesome. I mean, I didn't really know this much stuff went into filming the news and broadcasting it.
Well, you know a little bit about that with what you do, though, because you go on the scene, and so you've learned about that yourself. In fact, the tables were turned. You were asking me the questions, and that was kind of a strange feeling to me. What do you say about that?
Yeah, it does feel weird for me to be asked questions as well.
Okay, so the tables are turning on you this time. Let's talk about STEM. Why did you choose that as the focus of your show?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into STEM, like the camera that's filming us right now. I mean, there's engineering in that, like the actual screen filming us and the lights above us. I mean, there's science in that, like the energy coming and shining on. There's just STEM in everything in the world.
Talk about the coolest thing you've done with your company.
Coolest thing we've done is probably we've raised over $50,000 going towards scholarships for kids going into college.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I've also interviewed over 10 companies, which is, I think, is a good milestone to have.
Yeah, that's amazing. These scholarships, how does that work? How does someone come across a scholarship?
So basically, like, we get money from donations and other stuff.
Okay.
And then we give scholarships to kids that are going into college so that they can study in STEM fields and maybe get some STEM jobs.
Okay, so not only are you talking about the future, but you're helping create the future with that stuff. Is that the ultimate goal of your company?
Yeah, our ultimate goal is basically just to provide scholarships for kids going into college and mainly just spread the word about cool STEM stuff.
Okay, so cool. One last thing, what's something that you haven't yet been able to spotlight on one of your episodes that you would still like to?
One thing I really want to do is I want to visit a roller coaster manufacturer because there's a lot of STEM in that. I mean, there's like science with the momentum, engineering with building it, math with how long a piece needs to be or how tall, like, there's just STEM in roller coasters.
What's your favorite roller coaster?
Probably Lagoon. It's probably Cannibal.
Cannibal, yep, that's a good one. I'm right with you there. I love the original too.
Yeah,
hard to beat that
cool.
one. Okay, how can people find you if they want to check out your episodes?
Basically, they can go to YouTube, look up our channel, it's the Stemheads. They can also visit our website, which is stemheads.org. Got it. Which they can do some stuff there, like donate or just look at the team. And then they can also go on to Etsy, because we have like a merch store there. We can buy hats, t-shirts.
Oh, gotta have the
hoodies.
merch, right?
Yep, obviously.
I love the shirt you have on right now. Hey, it has been a pleasure having you here with us today and getting to know you and more about your mission and what you're doing. I just think it's fantastic. So thanks so much for being here and thinking about us as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's just awesome to be here.
All right, we feel the same way. Have a great time and best of luck to you.
Thank you, you too. If you want to buy a shirt like the one I'm wearing now, you can check out our Etsy shop, Stemheads, where you can buy stuff like shirts, hats, and even hoodies.